Cast.
The brotherhood, playing for the guy next to you, playing for the team.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckeye Cast.
Buckeye Cast.
Tradition of Ohio State, we take that serious.
These fellas were born and bred in the Buckeye State.
Buckeye Cast.
The people of Ohio, we work every day to make them proud.
Visit us at thebuckeyecast.com and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Buckeye Cast.
Buckeye Cast.
Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
I'm proud to be part of this group. Go Bucks!
What's up? Welcome back. We are here, 2020. We are still alive. Buckeye Nation, we missed you. I'm sure you missed us. It took us a few weeks to settle into the new year and get comfortable with it. Right, Shawn?
No, I'm not settled in.
You're not settled in?
No, I'm a little uncomfortable.
Well, I've had a few weeks in this new chair, and there's a few little kinks, and I got a couple rods sticking me in the back, but we're working it in. So yeah, we want to give you a little update on recruiting, because obviously that deadline's coming up next week, right? Is it next week or the week after? I think it's 2 weeks. Anyways, Kerry Coombs, we got to welcome him back in, talk about Coach Mick. He had some nice nugs in his press conference last week. And then we want to really focus on the offensive depth chart for 2020, right, Shawn?
Sure. Let's get into it.
And what else? Anything? I don't think we got any questions in this week. Not that I asked for any.
No, but if you want me to badmouth something, just bring it up.
How about hipsters and their bourbon selections?
Yeah. How about everybody moves back to vodka?
Leave the bourbon for the adults.
Bourbon selection alone.
Yeah, leave the bourbon for the adults here. So as always, folks, subscribe, hit the website. A lot of shirts and hats still up there. We've been moving some merch lately around the holidays. And so let's jump right into it. Captain Red Bull, Kerry Coombs, coming back to the Buckeyes. Probably the worst kept secret in Buckeye Nation.
Oh, gosh.
We've been waiting for the Titans to lose, and then the next day, he's coming to Columbus. Finally happened.
Yeah, the thing is, we're waiting for the Titans to lose, and the Titans win. They're
right.
Like, okay, big deal.
Every week.
And we got one more week. And then the Titans win. It's like, what the fuck?
Right, they end up in the AFC Championship.
Because Ryan Day's not out looking for any coaches.
Right.
It's like, da-da-dum, da-dum. Don't worry, we're going to have one of the best guys in the country. I promise. I'll only bring in the best. And he's not out looking or interviewing anyone. And he's just like, fucking would you guys lose already? I feel like the Tennessee Titans probably would have won the Super Bowl, but Ryan Day wanted his D-coordinator, cornerbacks coach.
Yeah, that would have made things a little dicey for Cam Martinez. And I'm guessing Shawn Wade had a little information on the inside when he decided to come back.
When you know half he's going, you're like, no, I'm going to stay. There might be some, douchebag like Earl Bruce's grandson or something fucking coach me.
Yeah. Matt Barnes didn't do it for you? Yeah. So, Kerry Coombs coming back to Columbus. I mean, this guy was never really meant for the NFL, in my opinion. He was always a high school and college coach. He made his bones down in Cincinnati. His only college jobs were at Cincinnati and Ohio State, obviously. My question is, though, they're giving him a defensive coordinator role. So he's not a schemer guy. He's not a big picture defensive scheme guy. He's a old school tactician.
Well, that's why he's going to be right? Or is he just D coordinator?
That's what hasn't been released yet. I mean,
yeah, I don't know if I want Coombs necessarily scheming. What I want Coombs doing is whether it's with I certainly want him coaching the back end because he's proven He can coach the fucking back end. There's no doubt about that.
From a technique point of view, yes.
But his inspiration is not only to that back end, but I think he brings a whole fire to the defense. And I don't know if I want him scheming the defense, but maybe he's like the emotional leader of that defense. And, you know, when people get blown off the ball, he's in there all fucking red-faced and red-assed like he gets. And you know what? Not another fucking yard, you know, and just...
Yeah, he's an energy bringer.
Testing men's will and like, dude, can you fucking bring it?
He'll get in your face as quick as possible.
And in a good way. And when he gets in your face, you know he's not getting in your face as a dick. He's getting in your face to be like, I believe in you and I'm pushing you. And are you going to show up? And his resume speaks for itself. In regards to that, I just...
What do you have? Kerry 6 Combs, first-rounders in 5 years?
I'm so glad he came home because I don't think there's any place, you know, I don't want to sell the guy short, but in Ohio, if he stays here like another 10 years in a capacity, and I don't think it'll ever be a head coach capacity. I could be wrong. Maybe he does aspire to that, but he's already legend in Ohio, and he could ride this co-defensive coordinator secondaries coach out for 10 years and fucking and get a congressional seat when he fucking retires. I mean,
yeah, right. My question though is, how do you see this working where Madison, most likely they're going to be co-DCs. Madison's been on the sidelines forever, right? He's never been in the booth, even at Michigan. So wouldn't you have to send the old guy upstairs and have the energy Kerry Coombs on the ground?
I don't know. You know what? I didn't even think of that other side of that coin. So basically, you got two meatheads.
Yeah. Halfley was up in the booth.
And you got to put one of them up in the booth. To me, Madison and Combs, neither one are booth guys. They're both sideline guys to me. Maybe you put a couple assistants up there and let them have...
Well, Halfley was up in the booth last year, and there's a lot of solid points to be made for having that eye in the sky, you know, all 22 kind of view, right?
Well, yeah, and I think a super X and O's guy, but isn't Kerry Coombs more the emotional, like in your face guy, and isn't that kind of the way Madison is as well?
I've never seen Madison get in anybody's face.
But is he cerebral?
Maybe the chef at the local diner. That's about it.
Right? He's like, I got the Boston cream.
God damn it! These eggs are overcooked. I said sunny side up.
So far, I like that guy.
Well, that makes one of us.
I like that.
I'm not a Madison in red kind of guy. I think you ship him upstairs. Who is more likely to break a hip on the sidelines is my question. Whoever it is, you send him upstairs.
I don't really want either one of those minds called. I want those guys affecting how the players are coached and how they play. But I don't know if I want either one of those scheming, frankly. I think you get a younger, faster mind.
Well, I think
to call the
Halfley got a lot of credit last year when actually Madison, as much as I hate to say it because I'm not a big fan of his, I think Madison was more the overall defensive caller and scheme guy.
Oh yeah, why don't you like Madison?
I just can't. I can't picture him in the fucking red still. I can't get past that. And he's just kind of lame. Like when he talks, he's just like, I don't get energy. I don't get like fired up from this guy. He actually puts me to sleep.
Oh please!
He looks like he wants a cup of warm milk. And he wants to go take a nap.
Who doesn't want that?
Well, I don't. I want bourbon. So, anyway, Combs comes in with a $1.2 million salary. That definitely takes on a different role when you're talking titles. So, that's quite a step up from when he was probably in the mid-hundreds when he left Ohio State.
But for an older looking dude, the dude recruits like crazy, these young kids. And I think jumping to the NFL and jump. So he put a ton of dudes in the NFL, and then he jumped to the NFL, and now he's jumping back to college. So he's like, look, guys, I fucking know this game.
Right. He's
You
got
want,
the value.
You want in the league? I put guys in the league. I coach guys in the league. I know what the league is. Come here, and I'll teach you the league. I got to think that Ohio State is a super top program for people in the secondary that want to go to the NFL.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he cranked out, what, 5 or 6 first-round picks before he even went to the league?
Well, I think what you'll see is just as you've seen this year, and Shawn Wade could have went. I think Shawn Wade's a first-round pick. Shawn Wade, by staying, is probably going to be a top 5 pick, but I still think he's probably a top 25 pick this year. Shawn Wade is a fucking stud, and we would have lost all 4 of our secondary to the draft. And I just think bringing in Coombs, it's going to be the continuity of that. You're an idiot if you're a high star.
Well, Shawn Wade's family said that he was looking at a second-round pick because he did not play any outside corner. He only played the slot.
But didn't Kuiper have him at like 23 or 25 overall?
I didn't see the last. I haven't seen the most recent mock draft, but I'm not sure that Kuiper is the most accurate. I would trust the NFL returns that the coaches get.
But still, you're talking about being in the league a year earlier, and you're still a second rounder. You're not a schlep.
But the pay, dude, you can't even compare the pay between a first round and a second round.
Yeah, but those rookie contracts aren't that long. I mean, and they don't get paid like crazy. I mean, it's when they sign their next one. That's when they all get paid.
Right. But for him to get tape of him playing outside corner is much more valuable.
I mean, you say much more valuable, but I say, fuck that. If he's late first round, early second round, how much more valuable? Look, that means you're in the top 8 of cornerbacks already if you're in the top 32 overall. So, I mean, how much more fucking valuable do you need to get? You need to be in the top 2, top 3. I don't know. I mean, you're talking about a year. You're giving up a year too. So, I'm super appreciative. I think Shawn Wade is as good or better than Jeff Okudah. I've always thought that. It's been in my heart.
They're both 5 stars, came out in the same class.
They were 1 and 2. They were 1 and 2 in that class, which is, I love them both. Okudah's a beast too. And I think my boy, the sleeper boy, who's going to be the cornerback next year? Arnett showed up, and finally, I was proud of him. Still gets a little red ass, a little hot at times, but remember how I hated Arnett earlier?
Oh, yeah. Because he just talked shit and didn't produce.
Yeah, he'd always like fucking every tackle. I'd be like, dude, can you just tackle a dude and that'd be it? Like, sometimes he's like in your face every time. I'm like, fuck, dude. I hate that guy. And then, but he obviously balled out. I wish him nothing but the best.
I tell you what, by coming back, he's worked himself into a second, third round pick.
No, I agree.
Had he left early, he would have been a
tenacious. Damon Arnett is tenacious. And frankly, in the league, I probably like his game more than I do in college because the league, I don't care. They're all pros. They're all dicks. They all want to be cocky and do whatever, then fine. Arnett fits in there perfect. But the college game, I like a little more decorum and just tough play, but not all the shit talking. I don't love all the shit talking. Fucking let's go. And I'm not trying to say don't celebrate on when good things happen, but I mean, enough of the bullshit every fucking time. I mean, act like you've tackled somebody before, bro.
So yeah, Coach Mick. Let's talk about his press conference here real quick. We want to get to the depth chart of the offense, but few highlights here I wanted to touch on. He said that the they're using the score of the Clemson game as motivation in the weight room. They've got a big sign up to fuel these guys because really playoffs are what we're about. We're not about just beating Michigan anymore. I mean, yeah, that's nice and everything, but that getting to the playoffs and winning in the playoffs is the point of that motivation.
I agree. I think Clemson's taken that on, the past few years that, the ACC's been such shit. But going into it, you should win it.
So, yeah, Coach Mick also said Justin Fields has 0 restrictions right now and that he really loves working out and lifting weights and stuff. So
I think Fields is an absolute stud. I just think that kid's got it all. That he's a high character kid that is going to be a leader. I'm glad we got 2 young studs coming in, and I think Justin Fields is going to be a great role model for those guys.
Yeah, he also said that Fields is completely different this year. He's more of a leader. He's taken on that role. Last year at this time, he had just arrived on campus.
Right.
Didn't even know where the weight room was, Now he's more comfortable with everybody. He's made friends. He knows people. So much better place for him. And he's taking more of that leadership role and moving forward with it.
Well, you'd hope so after, what do you have, 60 touchdowns?
Yeah, it was semifinalist for the Heisman. That's all.
I think that might be a Dale Carnegie class, how to win friends and influence people. Yeah, be accountable for 60 touchdowns in Columbus. People are going to like you.
Definitely is a bullet point. And this one I thought was interesting from Coach Mick. He talked about kids from Texas and Ohio come in ready to go. Like, they have been in programs that have prepared them to come into Ohio State, whereas what that says to me is kids from other states, probably Florida and other places that aren't so football motivated, maybe they have outside interests, tells me that those kids are kind of sloppy, maybe not as stringent or dedicated.
I don't know if it's that. I just think maybe the mentality, and maybe there's so many in the Big Ten that. But like I oftentimes hear Michigan State and these guys up in these parts are like, oh, you get a 3-star kid out of Ohio, the kid's a beast. The guy's a football kid. Man, he knows the game. He plays the game. He's about the game. And I mean, I don't know. I think it's just different. Some people that it's, everybody takes it so serious. Where there's kids in these other states that are like total freaks.
Well, I think it's the quality of the program.
They may not be raised in the. I don't know.
The quality of the programs they're coming from. I think that's the key. I mean, look at some of these D1 programs in Ohio and Texas where football is everything. The Maslins, St. Ignatius, the schools down in Cincinnati. A lot of these schools have their own indoor facilities. These big D1 high schools. And in Texas, it's a fucking religion down there.
Right.
And there's a lot of money from boosters pumped into the high schools, not just the colleges. So I think that's why you see a difference. And, kids love fucking football.
Everyone loves football.
But to a different level, I think, in Ohio and Texas. It's like I said, it's like a religion in Ohio and Texas.
I just think you learn the game so much more, and I don't know all the stats, but I feel like you could back it up with stats that it is different in Ohio. I mean, that's why it's the cradle of coaches. I feel like people grow up with it. It's like important, and you learn about it and you study it, and you have a pretty good understanding of that sport. Like some people know soccer. I don't know soccer or hockey as well as other people know it. Football, I know as good as anybody. Fucking get it. See what. And I feel like Ohio kids grew up a little bit different like that. At least West Ohio kids, where we're from. But I'm sure the rest do. I mean, because you got the Youngstown schools that are great, and the Cleveland schools that are great, and the Akron and the Massillon, like you said, and you even get down there in Joe Burrow territory, and Marietta's, and obviously the whole greater Columbus area. Lancaster out there, and then the Cincinnati like dominant schools, and Dayton's, and Ohio's got a ton of good football.
And even in the smaller Division 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 schools, you got those small towns where football basically dominates the town. If there's a football game at home, the town is probably shut down and everybody's at the game. I mean, we've experienced that just in our town. But, yeah, so I thought that was interesting. He said that kids from Texas and Ohio really come in different from everybody else. I thought that was very interesting.
And I don't know exactly what that means. Was it physically? But I think mentally, mentally it makes a ton of sense to me.
He's talking physically, like obviously he's the physical guy,
Yeah, but what Mick's doing is about half physical, half mental. He's like pushing you, like where's your mental boundaries? How hard can I push you? And I mean, Mick's the master. Gosh, Mick for life, man. Give that guy a lifetime contract.
Oh yeah, he's the one of the most important people in that program.
Oh, I'd say number 2 behind Day.
Well, Pantoni's pretty important in his recruiting department, so they all have their own kind of needs and
niche.
Mm-hmm. You big niche. So let's get into this offensive depth chart. I want to ask you about each position group. I'm going to give you an oh shit scale of 1 to 5. 1 being I'm not worried. 5 being I'm worried. I'm oh shit worried. Okay.
Okay.
And so we're going to run through starting with quarterbacks. Obviously, QB1 is Justin Fields. This is obvious, right?
I don't know. We're heading into spring. Maybe it's an open competition.
Shut the fuck up. So we're gonna give our 2 deeps. Shawn's is going to be different from mine. This is not necessarily what Ryan Day's going to do unless he's actually listening to us, which is very possible. And if you are, Coach Day, glad you could join us. Don't listen to Shawn. So this is my 2 deep on the quarterbacks. I'm going Fields and I'm going Gunnar Hoke. Shawn, who do you have?
That's wrong. I'm going Fields. I'll give you Fields. And I think whoever wins the battle between Stroud.
Okay. So my question is, you think that a guy that's been here 6 months is going to be able to surpass somebody that's been here a year and a half?
Well, hopefully. I'm hopeful, yeah. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that the 2 guys that we brought in are studs, and they're going to compete like fucking hell, and they're going to make an impression and say, hey, you know what, Justin Fields this past year, and I've got the skill to do this. I don't think Gunnar Hoke has the skill to be QB1 at Ohio State. Could he fill in nicely? I'm sure he could. I'm not against that. But I don't think he's QB2 at Ohio State. He's not talented enough. And there's 2 guys behind him that are.
Okay. So what is your level of oh shit on a 1 to 5?
It's pretty much the highest of any position. It's 4. It's
If Fields goes
if
down,
Justin Fields if Fields goes down, I'm super fucking worried. I don't care if it's Gunnar Hogue, fucking Stroud, or I don't care who it is. I'm super worried. That's the most catastrophic loss for us on the field.
I agree with that. From a depth chart point of view, I'm definitely at a 5. I mean, DEFCON 5 for me. Is it DEFCON 5 the worst or DEFCON 1 the worst? I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know either.
Doesn't matter. In Buckeye football terms, yeah, that's if Fields goes down, we might as well just fucking write off the season.
I don't know about that. I'm ready to fucking do that.
Winning the Big Ten is a challenge. Let's call it that.
It would be, but where else? Who else has got it better than us?
Nobody.
On the field?
I know the answer to that. Nobody.
Right? I mean, who else has got gonna out talent us anywhere? Penn State's got some dudes. Damn, and that dude should have came to Ohio State. He is a stud.
So let's keep it trucking here. Running backs. I'm going with Teague getting the lion's share of the carries and Crowley. I'm talking like maybe a 60-40 kind of split. How do you feel about that?
I feel like you're partially right, and which means you're also partially wrong. And I feel like it's going to be Teague, and I feel like it's going to be more Steel Chambers. I feel like Steel Chambers is a guy that you're not going to. I don't think you're going to hold Steel Chambers down. And if Teague doesn't pick it up, then I think you could see more of a Crowley Steel Chambers backfield.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. So you're saying Teague is completely jumped by 2 guys?
Well, if you would have asked me after the first 7 to 8 games in the season, I would have said no way. Teague's heir apparent. But the last 4 games of the season, I think Teague disappeared. I don't think Teague ran as hard as he did early in the season.
Facing tougher defenses, too.
What's that?
Facing tougher defenses in those last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, and that's where Dobbins just blew my fucking mind away at how hard that kid ran, and being smaller and he was so much tougher than Teague in those last 3-4 games. Where that was always Teague's thing. It's like, Teague, no, you're the tough guy. And so I think Teague's going to have to step it up, because on his heels are Crowley and Chambers, who I think people are super underestimating both those kids. Those kids could both be superstars. Teague, I don't know if Teague can be a superstar. Well, I think we're gonna find out. He's either gonna be this year or he's not gonna be. And
yeah, this is his opportunity to be the man. And does he grab it by the haunches and hump it into submission?
And there's no excuse not to. I mean, and I'm assuming after here we're going to receivers or O-line, but at some point we get no line, and when we get the O-line, I'm excited about the plowing ability of the O-line, not the foreshadow.
I love your foreshadow, especially in the evenings. So yeah, there's no room to bring anybody else in. Let's assume that there are be no transfers from the portal, and they even canceled Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back from Georgia, to come in. So nobody else is coming in. I think our running back room is set in stone, and pretty much the entire offense. as far as a roster point of view goes, or at least from a 2 deep. But yeah, jumping into the receivers. Here's my 6. I want to do basically a rotation of 6. Right, that's typical. Occasionally, they might mix in a 7th guy. I'm going Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Harris, 3rd year in the program, Julian Fleming, true freshman, Jalen Gill at slot, and Jamison Williams. What do you have, Shawn?
I basically got Wilson and Olave as my 1 and 2. I got Jamison Williams kind of as my 3rd guy. If I'm just going like top 6 receivers right now. I think one of those freshmen is going to get on the field. Is it going to be Fleming? Is it going to be? It could be Gee. I don't know who it's going to be. The Cbus. I don't know. Maybe all 3 of them can get on the field. I don't know.
You're talking
They
freshmen?
they're all their tape's sick, and then you got the H where I think Jalen Marion McCall, is 9th year in the program. He knows the fucking system. He knows fucking Tressel's system, I think. That guy's been here so long.
Right. Yeah, I think he's actually penciled in the running back room now for depth.
And that's interesting too. You know,
But he's going to be
think
buried
Crowley
there.
and Chambers, I would think that McCall would be like a trustworthy guy. At least he's going to know what the play is. How many years you need, kid?
But I don't know if he can jump over Crowley and Chambers in that running back room. I'm just saying I think he's in there to add some depth and maybe be used in like a 3rd down situation.
I still think he has, if he can figure it out, world-class speed and moves and shakes.
He's had injury issues.
I think Run DMC can be a difference maker.
So I don't have him penciled in to the wide receiver 2 deep though. I don't think he cracks that.
I don't know. I mean, who's going to be the HB, if you will, the KJ Hill?
I think you got Jalen Gill, you got Jamison Williams, or
think Jamison Williams fits in there behind Gill?
Oh, he's 6'2", I guess. He's a little taller. Jalen Gill's like 6 foot.
Jamison Williams is so fast. I bet you Jamison Williams might be the fastest kid on the team. I'd love to see that race. That dude flies.
So I only have Julian Fleming as the only freshman. I'm talking week 1 of the season. I only have Julian Fleming as the first true freshman in that rotation. But you think 3 of the freshmen are going to be in that rotation?
I think it's very possible. Yeah, I really do. And not for a ton of snaps or whatever. Again, Olave, Garrett, and Jamison, I think are going to get a ton of snaps.
I do want to point out that Garrett Wilson basically had almost the identical number of snaps last year as Ben Vick. Hello?
Now I'm with you. And that kid just he can go up and get a ball.
Yeah, I don't see anybody taking snaps away from him. Same with Olave. But I think, see, I'm focused on these guys that are 3 years into the program, like Jalen Harris from Cleveland and Jalen Gill.
I'm excited to see Gill. His tape was like, I remember him coming out and he had super shakes and whatnot. I wonder if I get it's been like the third guy that I thought coming out was just going to be like out of this world. Never got through.
Well, we're going to get to one here in the offensive line in a second. That is another third-year guy that is a 5-star that needs to finally show us something. So let's skip past it. You want to get to the tight ends? I got Farrell and Ruckert in my 2 deep.
Yeah, I'd go with that. I didn't even think about tight ends because the offensive coordinators don't think about them, so I don't think about them either.
Yeah, depends on what you want them to do, but yeah.
I'm with you though. I mean, Ruckert's a stud, but Farrell, we're nice at tight end right now, and I'm glad we keep bringing in a kid every year. It seems like every other year we get a total stud, and then get really quality guys in between those years. So that position to me is what it is. I think we got a nice stable. We got guys that are better at blocking, guys that are better at catching, guys that can do a little bit of both. Fucking tight end. What do you want me to say?
Farrell's a better blocker.
You want me to make fucking tight end fucking conversation sexy? I can't do it, man.
Well, I would say to make it sexy, Ruckert is the better receiver. Farrell is the better blocker. So it depends on the play, really, And I think Ruckert's blocking has improved, and hopefully he's continuing to work on it, So I think at some point they'll be comfortable with Ruckert in there for every snap, But let's get into this O-line because this is really where it all starts up front, We got 3 NFL guys who would have been drafted that came back, which is huge, and this is going to be working in lockstep with that running game, right? So here's my 2 deep. I'm going to go across the board from left to right. In my starters are Munford at left tackle, Harry Miller left guard, Josh Myers, of course, at center, Wyatt Davis still at right guard, and I'm going Nicholas Petit-Frere, NPF, at the right tackle position. Okay? Now let me go to my second teamers. Left tackle, DeJuan Jones, the big man, coming in at 6'7", 360. Next I got Gavin Cupp at the left guard, backing up Harry Miller. Now at center, this gets a little dicey. I got Harry Miller shifting over if Josh Myers goes down. Okay? Harry Miller, the coveted 5-star center, second year in the program. Nothing but glowing reviews for this kid. Does everything. Hard worker, smart kid, and could easily take that job over. Next, right guard, I got Enoch Vamahi. Decided to not take that mission that he was supposed to take after his freshman year, so he is back. And he was actually in the 2 deep at the end of the season last year at guard. And then at right tackle, I got Paris Johnson Jr., true freshman, coming in, backing up NPF. Shawn, pick away.
I would agree with pretty much everything you just said. I would probably flip.
Well, that doesn't make for a good show.
I would probably flip your tackle situation on the 2 deep. Not your starters necessarily, but I think DeJuan Jones and Petit-Frere probably compete for that right tackle job, and I think Paris Johnson Jr. will be heir apparent for the left tackle job. And I would also probably flip your left guard situation, even though I actually kind of want to believe what you're saying. I'm actually more hopeful of your situation that you think Harry Miller, and again, I'm with you. The reviews and what people say about him and the work ethic and the knowledge and just what he can do and know. how do you keep him off the field? I mean, Josh Myers is like, this kid's a lot better. Josh Myers basically saying, this kid's better than me already.
Yeah, he's calling out blitzes and things
how
at
do
center.
you keep him off the field? But does a Gavin Cup or one of these other guys make it in there at left guard? I don't know.
You also got, well, I went with Gavin Cup because he's a senior. You also got Matthew Jones. I think he's a second-year guy.
I think he's like third out of Brooklyn, out of where our boy's from.
Matthew Jones?
Out of Brooklyn. Brooklyn.
Oh, you're talking about Curtis Samuel.
Yeah. I think that kid's out of the same school.
Oh, really? Okay. I don't remember.
Man, how do I not remember that? Damn. That's that bourbon.
Bourbon's supposed to be helping me. Now it's hurting me. But yeah, there are a lot of other options there at guard. I just think Harry Miller is the guy that has to get on the field.
I know. I kind of have that same thing. And I think that with him and Myers, and, you get the center and the guards have to be nasty. Those are your road graders, the center and the guards. And, your tackles obviously protect the quarterback. They got to do some shit, too. They got to push, obviously.
Then Harry Miller's already set up for 2021 when he slides into center. It makes sense to get him on the field as a guard where he doesn't have as much responsibility as a center this year. Then next season, 2021, he just slides right into center.
But that kid out of Brooklyn, I mean, maybe he's that good. He was the number one center coming out of that class.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, all these guys are super talented. I'm not sure there's a wrong answer. It's just our opinion, of course. But an injury is always going to take a different direction for all these positions. There's going to be guys that get fucked up in spring practice and even fall.
Yeah, but it's deep enough, pretty much everywhere.
Oh yeah, I need to get your oh shit scale for running back. What's your oh shit scale?
3.
Okay, so it could go either way. How about receiver?
Well, I'm receiver. My oh shit scale is 1. I'm not worried at all. I think it's probably talent-wise an upgrade.
How about tight ends?
2. I mean, it's not a huge consideration. I think we'll probably be better. Not worried. We got Farrell and Rucker, and then we still got who's behind him? And then we got a freshman,
Jake Houseman. You got
House. So no, I think we're fine there.
Right. And how about O-line? How do you feel about this 2 deep scale of 1 to 5?
I feel like this could be one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line in the country, and depth to back it up. I don't know as if I've ever felt more comfortable ever with the guys that we got, that we just projected, that we think are going to start. We're pretty much in unison, give or take. But the guys behind, I mean, it's some of the guys we're talking about are coin flips. When they're coin flips, and they were really good, and some of these guys didn't have to come back. I think they're nasty, dirty O linemen that are gonna bring it, and that's the key to success in college football. Any football.
I agree. I think this could be the best O-line in the country again this year, barring injury, of course. But I'm super confident in this, and I think this is going to really propel that running game and really make us one of the best teams in the country again. So very confident in this O-line. All right, folks. That is our show for this week, breaking down the offensive depth chart. Next week, we're going to get into the defense, and things get a little dicey there. We lost a lot of dudes in that back four and up front, actually. So that's going to be an interesting show. Not going to be so confident in that group, I think. So, Shawn, thank you for joining us from the tundra.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. And go Bucks, stay warm, and we will see you next week.